I think this is a great question. I'm often, in my answer, I'm often saying that people need to read more than the Independent. Independent is a good newspaper, but it doesn't always get things right. And this is one of those examples where the reporting in that newspaper was just too far off. It was misleading and inaccurate by making people to believe that Finland will do away all the subjects and replace them in interdisciplinary or anti-disciplinary, as people call it in MIT. It's another way to say this thing. In a way, I would have been hoping that this would be the case. I would be wonderful to have a school system brave enough to do away the old subjects and just redesign the whole thing. I think Finland could do that as a system, but it's not going to do that. So what this means is that first of all, in the new national curriculum framework that will become effective next year, August next year, there is for the first time there's a requirement for all the schools that are in Finland responsible for writing the curriculum. We don't have any national curriculum that would be the same for all the schools. But this framework is guiding and leading the work at the level of the school. And this requirement is that it says that every school must have at least one extended study period designed in a way that the old subject will be integrated into kind of what is called a phenomenon-based or interdisciplinary approach. However, how it will look like depends completely on the local governments. We have 300 local governments, and in the end of the day, about the schools, what they want to do. First of all, the extended may mean 3 days, or it may mean a week, or it may mean a month in some places. So it depends on how the schools understand this extended, how they want to design this. Now the city of Helsinki that was mentioned and mostly reported in this the Independent story has in their own local curriculum kind of a guideline for the schools, have decided to insist 2 such periods every year. So every school in Helsinki must design 2 extended study periods so that they integrate these subjects. My guess would be that how this will look like is that most of the schools in Helsinki will have a week in the fall and another week in the spring, where teachers and different subjects will be blended together, and then they study things like the European Union or sustainable development or future energy or space travel, whatever they want to put as a topic there. I know already now that there are some schools in Helsinki, and these schools are coming up now after this thing has been decided, that have actually removed all the subjects away. So we are going to have some of the schools where they don't teach any more subjects, but it will be mostly integrated thing like this. So what are the... something that this newspaper didn't cover and people don't know is that the most beautiful aspect of this whole thing is the next sentence in the national curriculum framework that says that the study periods must be designed and planned together with children, pupils, and also evaluated together with them. But nobody's interested in this, and I think this will change everything. When the kind of a legal requirement is that the schools has to do this planning together with the pupils. And if I'm a parent in Finland, it means that I have a right that to insist that my school will include my son into this planning, and also asking him, what did you learn? This will change many things, much more than this integrated thing. I think the kind of risks in this are that some schools take it too far, that they simply have like a too radical approach in this, that it doesn't allow any more kids to learn what they need to learn in certain subjects still for their further studies or education. It may also mean that some teachers simply can't do that. The challenge in Finland is, although we have a good teacher education, but teachers were not prepared to teach like this. So insisting that the teachers will work together and plan and design such a things works for some teachers and some schools, but it doesn't necessarily work for somebody who was trained 30 years ago in a very different teacher education system. And now if we are insisting that everybody has to do that, it may be that many people simply can't do that. So my trust is again in the Finnish educators, in a sense that they understand these things and that they do what they think is the best thing to do for their kids. But it remains to be seen how this falls into practice. And 5 years ago, when you have a next conference here, I think it would be good to have somebody from Finland to talk about this experience, what has happened and what does the research say about how does it change the things. We are doing this in Finland not to improve PISA results, and that's something that people are often saying, that why do you do this? Are you aiming at improving your position in these league tables? If we were to do that, then of course we would do what everybody else is doing, to have more mathematics and more science and less music and drama and all those things. But we are now actually doing the opposite. This means that there will be less classroom-based math and science teaching in Finnish schools, and more things where they can explore things in their own way. So the rationale in Finland to do this is primarily find a way that would engage our young people, particularly young boys, when they turn 12, 13, 14. More and more boys now in Finland come to school and say that there's nothing for me here except lunch, my friends. But in terms of learning and what's going on, nothing inspires me, engages me. So the schools are hoping that by engaging them more and asking, what do you want to do, or what are you interested in, that they can engage particularly these boys more and make them come to school and say that I'm really curious about this, I want to work for this. Which is an experience from many other places. By the way, this is not truly a Finnish innovation. These types of schools and initiatives are all around the world. They are in the United States, in New Zealand, and different parts of the world. There are schools that have been doing already something like this for quite some time. But at the level of the system, it's a unique thing.